When I was a boy, we went on a lot of trips. My father was a school teacher, and so we were on trips all summer. And um, so I used to draw, and I would draw trees and, the campgrounds or the little fireplace that we were. And from that, then I took chalks. I said, well, I want color now. So I started to, paint with chalks. And then as I got a little bit older, I was asking for paints to maybe do some paintings. And my father didn't really understand painting. He was a school teacher, and he thought, well, boys are really good at math, girls would be more like a painter, right? And so he said, well, yeah, okay, whatever. But that didn't happen. So I went to the Five and Dime, and I found this set of paints in a paint by number kit and stuck them in my pocket and came home and painted and started painting. And those were the first paints that I had. So the kids don't go do that, but it worked. Actually, that was really how it started. I don't know why I was so drawn to that. As I went through school, I didn't take art. I did maybe in junior high. I had one course, and I did really well, but I still, I was thinking, well, you can't make a living as an artist, because that's what my dad said. I got out of active duty in the service, and I came home, and I didn't have a job, and so my mother worked at Disney, and she'd worked there from Hyperion. She was there from the beginning, and was Walt's secretary sometimes, and so I'd grown up around Disney, and I didn't think anything of, I never thought I would be an artist at Disney. But she said, well, why don't you come work in the mailroom for the summer at least, and then you have something. And so I said, okay. I'm 19 years old. I went to work in the mailroom. They used to have these contests where you could paint paintings and put them in, no matter who you were. And so they had one in the library there, and I went home, did a painting, brought it in, and that next day I was delivering mail. I was at the mail basket, and I was walking down the hallway, and I saw Roy Disney Sr. walking ahead of me, and he's very old at that time, very small. And I had said hi to him before, but I didn't want to bother him. But something inside said, you need to go tell him to look at your painting. So I did, and I walked up and I said, Roy, would you mind looking at my painting and let me know what you think of it? And so he said, sure. And so later on that day, I go by, and the ladies in there come running out, and they say, you won't believe what happened. And I said, what? And, well, Roy bought that painting for $30. And that's what I did. I just went, what? $30? Well, that was the first painting I'd ever sold, or shown, actually. And that's how it started. And from that, of course, the other artists saw my artwork there, and then I'm delivering them paints, and they're saying, well, why don't you, have you ever thought of working here? And so that's, from that, within a few years, I was a background painter, and the first one was Winnie the Pooh and Tigger 2, and Mickey's Christmas Carol, Rescuers, and then Fox and the Hound, small one, which is kind of an odd film, but then Great Mouse Detective, and I'm going to take these out of order somehow, but Black Cauldron, Oliver and Company, and Rescuers Down Under, Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid. Actually, Beauty and the Beast was the last film. And I was in galleries that whole time too, so I had been showing in galleries 20 years, and I was becoming known in Hawaii for painting the landscapes. And so when I saw when I saw in Beauty and the Beast that the one scene that everyone loved the most was the one in the ballroom, which was computer generated, I said, well, uh-oh. And that's when I changed. And I just said, after I'm going to just really follow my fine art now. And I never retired from there because I couldn't bring myself to do that. But everyone knew I just kind of had shuffled out of there, and they saw me, my artwork coming from Hawaii and all that. I didn't live there, but I still was here in California. But I spent a couple of months a year there. Started doing that about 20 years ago because I had never really heard that scripture before. You hear the ones right around it, but I heard that and I said, well, that works for my artwork. That's perfect. And I thought, I want to share, and I knew Tom too, and a great guy, and I thought, I want to share this, but I also want to be reminded myself that it isn't just me that does this, that I know that I was blessed with that job at Disney. It wasn't something that just happened because it was impossible. It's to be the head of the animation background department for a kid who hadn't been to art school is pretty crazy, and never really having any formal education except what I got there, of course, with the greatest artists ever. Practice, work hard, and don't give up, but don't focus on just that. Saying, oh, I need to be a painter in a gallery like this. I think there's all kinds of different ways to do that, but you need to have that outlet somehow if you love it. And so practice and get good, and then I believe you pray about it and you say, just bring the right people into my life to make it happen.